Hey, Dustin, how are you? It's weird. It didn't show us as live on my screen, but now it shows live. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you know, gotta make adjustments to the camera and stuff. Okay, that's all that matters. Which Discord? The general? Wouldn't be a live stream without audio issues. Dustin's muted. Beau has an echo. um, Shows me on 2. Interesting. But it's less like an echo. It's more like I'm talking into a bucket or something. It sounds like when you try and talk to somebody through like a can with a string. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Something Beau. Okay.
I wonder why mine quit working. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, I got it. Now say something.
I am saying something.
All
I'm also
right. I think we did it.
turning my
Look at
turning my
that.
volume on to see if I can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. That'll probably take it a second. There's a little bit of a delay, but not by much. But hey, look at that. We got
Okay.
it figured out. Hey, Stu's in the chat. Welcome, Stu.
We do hear you.
Yep. Okay. Very nice.
My
Oh, there we go.
my
Okay.
my audio also sounds better.
Excellent. See,
So
look, I'll take
good
full blame
stuff.
for that one. That's on me. But the good news is that we've got a lot of really fun stuff in store for everybody today. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening from all of us at Zephyr Drone Simulator. I'm going to run through my whole spiel yet again because you didn't hear it the first time. You just got to see my mouth move. And honestly, we'll call that Kristen mode. That's my wife. She probably would prefer that not to have to listen to me much. I imagine that gets old after a while.
Like the movie Click, where you can like mute people.
Yeah, mute, rewind. Um,
Fast forward.
so We got a lot of really cool stuff to get to today. I don't want to hold anybody else up. Bo, how are you doing? How you feeling? How are things going?
I'll just tell you what I tell everybody. I'm resplendent in the joys that have
Resplendent.
been gifted to me in this life.
That's right. We are doing the absolute most with what we can. I am as well. I got to tell you, I'm feeling more alive the last few days than I have in months because we finally got temperatures over 50 degrees up here in Massachusetts. And I am so very happy. I didn't realize how much of a solar panel I am and what a difference that would make. So I am digging these warmer temperatures. Spring has sprung. The magnolia trees are all blooming. Cherry blossoms. Just gorgeous. I am excited about what this spring has to offer. And speaking of spring and newness and rejuvenation, we've got a bunch of updates to fill everybody in on. We're going to take you through a walkthrough of some of those new updates on our website. We'll talk about what's new in the news when it comes to drones and the world around you, and some new places that you'll be able to find us coming up in the next few weeks. So,
I don't know, man. I prefer winter, less Bradford pear trees.
Bradford pears, funny. I hate them. I think most people do. They were put in by a really ignorant city planner back in the 50s in most states. They are an invasive species, highly brittle. Um, their gametes have that certain smell to attract flies because flies are their main pollinator, which is kind of gross. Um, Everything about them is just disgusting. So, in a city wherever you are, contact your street department, let everybody around you know we don't need those things because, yeah, Department of Transportation, they don't want to have to go around and pick up all those limbs and broken trees, debris off the ground. Absolutely. And actually, you know what's kind of
Uh,
cool? They were using drones to do land survey to track the spread of Bradford pears in national forests. And
Interesting.
yeah, it's really cool how they were mapping it throughout the regions and watching these veins of Bradford pears just start to take over. And they would almost encircle areas of like old hardwood growth and destroy them. They would just outcompete them. Kyle, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Hope things are going well with you and the missus and the new addition. I know we're
Yeah,
all excited.
little Miss Mia.
Hello, Miss Mia. Hopefully get a update here in the next few days or so, but we're all thinking about you guys quite a bit and super excited for y'all. Okay, shall we jump into the news?
Need to bring it your way, but we got Go Dogs Go for
Let's
little
go.
Miss Mia.
Yes, that's good
It's
news.
this was my favorite childhood book.
It's a good one.
Well, aside from Harry Potter, but this was the one that she could probably be able to read a lot sooner.
Yeah. I mean, in a few
I mean,
years,
given the
she's
fact that you and Sarah are big old brainy boys,
that's also
she'll
true.
probably be reading the Silmarillion in fourth grade or
This
something.
kid's gonna be reading Mistborn before too long.
Yeah.
Alex, welcome in, my man. I'm so glad I got to see Alex not that long ago. Just
Dude, Josh,
like we
ball. That's all I'm gonna say.
was the goat book as a kid. Josh
Facts,
knows
man.
what's up. In fact, I think Josh did a book
Elite
report
ball
on that just a
knowledge.
couple years ago, right?
That's terrible.
Josh is also Josh's baby. He's a youngin. He's just now
You're
learning his shapes and
you're
colors.
you're giving me the vibe of someone who's just like 30 years ago and thinking of the set. It's really 1995.
I don't want to hear that at all. Um,
Oh wait,
as
no, 1996 now.
oh, God. In
Po-
1996, I think I was in junior high or at least middle
Pokemon,
school.
Pokemon hadn't even come out yet.
Oh my God, I hate everything. I'm so old. You know what's not old? Um, Drone technology. It's very new. Let's talk about that instead. Let's get back
There
on
you go.
track with
Excellent
what's
segue, sir.
what's new around the web. We'll do one that actually I think is really old. Quiet child. Um, so this is pretty cool, and because I am old, I find this infinitely fascinating because it has to do with insurance. We actually pulled several peer-reviewed studies that show essentially the gap between the uninsured and the insured in the drone space. Our friends over at COAV News, and this was a contributed guest article through Uncrewed Insights, but the drone insurance gap that's leaving commercial operators exposed. And there's some really fascinating items within this. This is contributed by Corey Fisher. Definitely did their research, but looking at regulations, earning the Part 107 certification, maintaining equipment, and like what all that looks like. But then the biggest piece of the puzzle that's being missed out on that we're seeing a lot of utility for is insurance, and what some of these insurers are doing to try and cover that gap. And really, it behooves you as the pilot to search them out. Don't rely on a lot of app-based policies. You want to check with homeowners. You want to check with auto. And there's some emerging groups that are coming forward that are dedicated to this. But guess which part is considered not covered under flight insurance? That would be considered hull, like under hull, like trying to like a fuel tank. That would be an external fuel tank. Um,
Hmm.
so, what part of a drone do you think would not be covered under hull insurance?
It's got to be batteries, right?
It's not. It's anything that would be considered payload.
But
If it was
the
carrying batteries, then yes, like that would be
the car.
uninsured. But
So my problem with that is like the batteries are the fuel source for the drone,
sure,
and like you could argue, well, it's not even argue. You're not carrying the fuel with you for distribution. You're using the fuel actively while it's moving. That doesn't make any sense.
well, so I think the way they see it is that if it's under the hull, if it's payload, if it's not attached to the actual craft itself, then that insurance falls under almost like what you would consider like interior insurance or content insurance. Good example, like if somebody breaks into your home, if you don't have content insurance in your home, they'll only cover up to a certain amount of those items within your home unless you add an additional rider. Because we all know insurance is a racket. So
What
if
if you're
you're
live stream? What if you're live streaming the break-in? Then you have content.
that's a different kind of content. That is the other. That's what we call a homonym. Stu, camera. No, camera's still covered because it's a permanent attachment to the craft itself. I thought the same thing initially. It would be like the camera or maybe even the rotors. I don't know.
I
Just
have,
trying to
s-
think.
I have so many arguments against this because technically, you know, nothing is really permanently attached to anything.
Sure. Well, especially on a drone because they are so modular. But
I
I
mean, or with
think
the car, you can remove the gas tank from a car. You can remove the battery. You can do all kinds of stuff
you
with
can, but
automobiles.
it's encased within the whole of the automobile. So you have to,
Is it?
yeah, take a step back from it. And I agree with what Kyle's saying. Payloads are often more expensive than the actual commercial, uh, yeah, expensive part in commercial stuff. So it's just like with like over the road trucking. Like your
Hmm.
trailer carries a lot different insurance than the actual cab itself because of content.
And the amount of axles change how much you pay.
And I imagine, and that's a really good point. I figure it won't be long before the amount of rotors that the drone has is going to change how much you pay because it can carry heavier load or the way it
Yeah.
travels through airspace. But I said all that to say, like, these conversations are super important. And groups like ourselves, like Pilot Institute, CUAV, need to be vocal about this kind of stuff. And we have that we developed with the National Institute of Science and Technology and drone responders a payload scenario so that pilots can become comfortable with the flight mechanics and the muscle memory of carrying payload on certain specific drones. And especially with insurance coming up, like I think that's going to be part and parcel. I could very easily see where something like our simulator is the litmus test for becoming insured. much like
Mhm.
taking a driver's test or anything in that regards. So it's something to keep an eye on and something to look at that conversation. I'm sure the lobbyists are already all over it, but I would be
Oh yeah, of
curious.
course.
I'd be really curious to see where this goes. But anyway, if you want to check that out, look at CUAB News. It's one of their top articles. Really fascinating.
Hmm.
Um, let's look at something else from what people are saying about commercial drone industry. I thought this was kind of fascinating. There was an internal survey that was bringing some frontline perspectives to the stage, and they're going to talk more about this at CUAV in Las Vegas this year, which, come find us. We're the great big 20 by 20 booth that's covered in orange and purple and all kinds of really cool colors.
Yeah,
um,
unless things have changed, we're still the only orange booth.
I think we are. Yeah, we're one of the few that
In a
didn't
in a, in a,
go.
in a in a sea of blue,
Uh-huh.
we're orange,
That's right.
which is complementary colors, so we pop.
Well, we're, sunrise, sunset.
Yeah. Unlike me rocking the Dunks color right now, I got the
Oh,
pink.
see, we got to get you back up here. Dunkin' Donuts is doing all kinds of crazy promotions. Um, So essentially, this survey is covering a lot of like what people are talking about, like proposed Part 108 frameworks, uh, beyond the visual line of sight, like the BVLOS operations, things like
Mhm.
that, other impacts that are hitting FCC regulations. So it's actually looking at trying to do data driven insights within the industry and put analytics and numbers to proof positive, truth to power, so that we're not just all speculating. We actually have hardline issues that people are starting to put forward their input and their opinions on. So be on the lookout for that. If you've gone to CUAV, I believe you should be getting this in your inbox soon. If not, I would highly recommend going by their website and signing up to take the survey. Let your
Mm.
voice be known. Um, Matt Collins, the content manager for CAV News, he's going to do the key findings, and I believe our friends over at Pilot Institute, specifically Greg, is going to be on stage for that discussion. And Pilot Institute, great group of folks. We work with them, love them to death. So, if you're going to be there, that's definitely one thing that I would hit and be
Mhm.
part of the conversation. Your voice in this matters. Again, this is such a new industry. All of us working together help to build this future. And if you don't offer up narrative, people will typically offer it up for you, and that's never a great thing.
That's true.
It is. We have our moments. Um,
Speaking of upcoming shows, just to interject here
yeah,
while
yeah,
you're
yeah.
pulling up the next story, we will be at Exponential 2026 um, in Detroit, sunny Detroit, Michigan.
Beautiful Detroit,
Um,
Michigan.
I believe that is in the middle of May. I think the 11th to the 15th.
Somewhere in there. Yeah,
Um,
that sounds right.
and come see us. We'll be at booth 38019.
38019. We're also going to have an in booth demo where we will be showing off stuff like payload, thermal, the new additions as far as like any kind of drones, the updates that we're making to stuff like the Avata 2 with a lot of its flight mechanics and getting those hammered out. Will also be part of a discussion. We're still determining exactly how it's going to work out, but probably in the safety portion of it. But there's going to be a roundtable discussion that we get to be a part of. We're just determining what's going to be best fit for the sim, whether it's going to be inspections, because that's a really big part of the sim with both bridge and tower inspections with using drones, or thermal with SAR in the beach. So we'll let everybody know well beforehand, but it's really cool that we're getting a couple different platforms to talk about the simulator. So again, stop by, engage with us. We are never off limits to you, um, our clients or friends in the space. So yeah, come by and hit us up. One last news story. I'm going to cut this part a little bit short, but this is really interesting. And there's a sticker on your water bottle that I think is just hilarious. Yeah, you.
Mine?
You there? Yes,
Which
you.
one?
You there?
Which one?
The other beautiful bearded guy on the screen.
This water bottle or
Um,
my other one?
it may be your other one. No, no, no. It may be the other one. Um, whale tracking. Whale
It'd be
tracking.
this one right
There we go.
here.
The snot bot. That's the one I was looking for. Um, but yeah, right here in amazing Massachusetts, Harvard students build some drones specifically for whale tracking. Again, this is from our friends over at COAV News, from the Uncrewed Insights. But a couple different students, McCraw and Parenti, have built a fixed wing eVTOL drone that is specifically designed to track sperm whales in the Dominica. So a little bit south of the Dominican Republic in that chain of islands that leads down into South America. Um, yeah, completely designed by them, fabricated, tested, no runway needed for takeoff. It's got a vertical launch
Hmm.
system, but it through the tagging system that's a complete. Let me see here. Uh, VHF transmitters. So they're able to go along with them and track their movements and collect data. And I think that is just so absolutely cool. Um,
Yeah, are they working with Snotbot or no?
they're not, at least it doesn't say whether or not they are. I imagine there's probably a lot more to this than what's being reported on. This is very early. It's a pretty
Hmm.
small blurb about it. Um, but it looks really cool, and I think that I would if tell people about the Snotbot thing. I think that's so fascinating.
So Snotbot is, and Josh can probably speak to it better than I can because he's, the one that was originally approached about it.
Hmm.
But it's they're using the drones to like monitor, like I don't know how best to explain it. Let me just pull it up real quick so that I can talk about it with some intelligence.
Well, I put you on the spot, but I think it's fascinating because essentially, like the long and short of it is, it collects mist from the blowholes that are being spewed skyward by whales, right?
Yeah. So Snotbot, they tag drones as well. Minimally invasive suction cup based data. The tags or tags the whales when they come up for that kind of expulsion. They also use that to like determine the whale's body condition based off of the mucus, I guess.
Mm, the snot. They put the snot
Yes,
in
indeed.
Snotbot.
But it's very fascinating.
They use the
Um,
drones to catch snot from the blowout and then check the health factors the whale from that. Yeah,
there you go.
perfect. That's so gross. That's
Like I said,
awesome.
it's gross, but I really love the amount of like just conservation for like wildlife that can happen with drones. Um,
Absolutely.
I know I talked about it briefly before, but I went to a wildlife conservancy like drone show specifically, and they were talking about how they use it to monitor like giraffe migrations and stuff like that. And I was like, well, based off of like giraffe like etymology and stuff like that, not etymology, but like the way that studying of giraffes, like
Their
they
morphology?
can pick yeah, they can pick up on like minor vibrations and stuff through their specific type of hearing. Um allegedly.
What?
So like you're not supposed to get super close to them with the drones. So they're like monitoring like if you to them it'll like kind of like how you fly over a dog or something like that with it, it'll freak and then it'll usually try and chase the drone.
Sure.
But like giraffes like to swing their heads at things that they
Yeah,
don't like. So they were just like there's a specific distance and like there's like a whole like rule of engagement with the giraffes that they have to use. It's
that's
pretty cool.
terrifying. That's giraffes don't make any sense. A lot of animals don't make any sense. They just
They don't need to. I mean, why would a giraffe have to validate its existence to us?
it I guess it doesn't have to. I'm glad it doesn't have to.
There you go.
But still, nature sometimes it's like, what are you doing?
Dang,
Um,
nature, you scary.
nature, why you gotta be so scary, yo? I do like that nature is domesticating raccoons for us, though. That's pretty great. Have you read about
Do
that?
what?
Yeah, real quick
No.
aside. They have noticed over the last 10 years that raccoons, especially like their snout, like their ratios, are becoming cuter and essentially they're self domesticating, but so that they can be closer to food sources and not appear as threatening and actually cozy up to humans as a main provider. Could you
It's the
imagine?
problem with having people like us do these kinds of shows.
No, it's not. This is not a problem. This is great because that means a raccoon could fly a drone because it has thumbs.
Okay, next.
I'm not wrong. On to other really cool updates. We did a thing. We prettied up our website for you guys, and I'm going to show it right here. Ready? Boom. There it is.
I
How's
know you're
how's
excited.
how's it look on the stream, Bo? Is it looking good?
Waiting on its update.
Okay.
It's
Um,
still us. It's still us talking about raccoons right now.
you know what? Time well spent. I regret nothing. It's the content people want.
There it is.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, one of the first things you'll notice is that we've changed up some of the language. It's not always easy when you're in an industry to think like somebody who's brand new to the industry. And that's something that we wanted to change is make things a little bit more approachable and not have to rely on distilling facts or trying to look up definitions. So we now have you as hobbyists for those of you that want to get the sim and just become a better drone pilot. Be able to do your flight mechanics and utilize your controllers to the best of your abilities to just get better with being drones. Not necessarily for work, but maybe if you're a photographer or just flying around for fun. This is where you would go. You click on this, it brings up some tools so that you can essentially start working, or not start working, but start practicing as a drone pilot. And then for most of our stuff right here, for businesses, before we said enterprise, and that can be such a scary word for some folks because it's shrouded in mystery. Like, really, what is enterprise other than like a rental car place? So
Or a
for us,
starship.
or Starship, yeah, that's I 100% agree with that. But for businesses, and this is really who we work with the most, these are our police precincts for public safety, search and rescue groups, or universities that are building out their pilot programs. This is what we're here for, is to help educators educate or help instructors instruct. So this is where you would go. And essentially, it's just a couple clicks, and you can get all the way down to requesting a demo. You fill out some quick information, you're contacted by our business development manager or our enterprise account executive, either Brandon or Parker, who are both incredible guys that will love to talk to you at length about your program, about how Zephyr fits into that program, and what's going to be your best option moving forward and getting you set up. And it's not invasive. The only things that we absolutely have to have is a name, an email, and a phone so that we can contact you and continue the discussion. Everything else is really up to you. And the more information you give us, the easier it's going to be to get through all this stuff. But that's we're making ourselves available to you again. We Bo and I talk about this a lot. How especially for at shows, come by, see us, talk to us. Well, this is just another tool to do that via our socials or through one of these different portals. And if you're curious if your industry is one of the ones that we serve,
Yeah.
look no further than right here in our list of industries that are served. And I'm really happy with the new layout of these. You can get more information. You can start the conversation with us here. You can look at our case studies, the NIST, the National Institute of Science and Technology tutorial. Essentially, any information that you would need is right here at your fingertips.
Yep. And to speak to the to conversating with us, I'd like to quote the poet T Pain. Talk to me, I talk back.
Talk to me, I talk back. That's right. No truer words have been said. Um, looking at different universities, we also have our Clemson University case study here that you can
It's true.
look through. It's fascinating information. It's available via PDF, and it takes just a matter of moments to get that downloaded and start going through it. Great information in there. Um, we've got some actual numbers and things in there I think you'd find quite fascinating. We're
Hmm.
all about those analytics. But yeah, this is really neat stuff. Really proud of our website team. Big thanks to Alex on spearheading this and getting it done. Um,
Hmm.
Excited for some of the conversations that it's going to spark throughout the
Oh, for
community.
sure.
And I look forward to folks being able to come by and visit with us and start that conversation and find out how this is going to work best for them. Um,
Agreed.
One thing that I did want to hit on also, and I think it's super important. This is our wiki page, and essentially anything and everything you'd ever need to know about us is right here on this page. This is painstakingly put together by our developers and our web managers for you to learn anything and everything that you need to about what are we, who are we, and the why are we. All the way from what controllers are supported, system requirements, um, our roadmap of things that we're working on in the future, um, patch notes on updates that we've done recently. And you can find our case studies right here, the Texas DPS or the Clemson case study. Within our announcements is where we put some quick updates. The performance issue that we had, we actually posted about this a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Actually, right out about a month ago.
Yep.
This is where you would find information on that. Say you're using an older system and you need to figure out what's best for you. Well, here's your instructions on how to fix that. Like we heard people that had issues, and yeah, this is where you go to fix those. If
It's
it's
true.
not directly addressed in here, then there's avenues for you to reach out to us and put in a support ticket so that we can continue that talk track and get you fixed up.
And actually, speaking on this real quick, we should be doing, like, assuming that there's no drama. Um, I spoke with some of the devs, and they're hopeful that we'll be able to launch this by next week, where it fixes the wobble that people were encountering, as well as some of the other small bugs that we've been alerted to.
Oh, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
Hopefully. So,
Hopefully.
um, I, I was told Thursday, hopefully, they want us to be able to do an actual live stream for the specific like version that's been released. So,
Perfect.
fun things to look forward to.
Absolutely. I look forward to that. Um, again, I love the little Easter eggs in here, like our little emojis that Eric put in. I think that's just so much fun.
I as an emoji enjoyer myself, because if you've looked at any of our social posts, I like to use them a
You do
lot.
indeed.
Um, Generally speaking, I do enjoy the occasion uh, Apple, or I think it's even in the introduction, we have a dinosaur.
We have a what you cut out.
Um, we have a dinosaur in the introduction, I believe.
Oh yeah, we do.
Um, but I'm a emoji enjoyer, I will say.
Absolutely. But hopefully, if you do have any other questions or concerns about your setup or your controller, how to configure it, what exactly those system requirements are for you, whether you're Windows or Apple, um, that's all right here at hand. So, please feel free to go through, peruse this. We'll also be posting this in our socials coming up. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's that's all available to you on our website at any given time. We don't want anyone to ever feel like that we're gatekeeping information because that's
Yep.
that's not what we're about. We're
And
we're pretty open with
if
everything.
for some reason you encounter an issue that you don't see handled on the wiki or posted to our socials, let us know. Um, Whether it be on our social specifically or reaching out through the website itself.
Absolutely.
Um, we try to be super on top of those types of things.
Yeah. And Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're not following our socials, do so, especially our LinkedIn or the YouTube right here. Um, we'll start posting some more short form content, some longer form content. Um, uh, go back and take a look at our videos on demand from previous lives, like our one with Dr. Laquata or our friends over at Sonora Desert Institute. Highly recommend those. They're really good conversations. It's a lot of fun. You can learn a whole lot
Mhm.
if your business is thinking about adopting Zephyr, or if you're one of those groups like USI or SkyOp or any of those, where we could be a beneficial partner to you, getting us in the hands of some of your clients, then hit us up. That's what we're all about. The more we work in community, the more we all get to grow and find more experienced pilots for drones in this emerging culture. And I think that's really important for us all to be a key part of it.
It's all about that tribal knowledge, baby.
That's right. The tribal knowledge. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's a good place for us to leave off for this week is with this bevy of knowledge. So welcome to the website. Welcome to Zephyr if you're new. If you're not, check us out for more updates. Check out the wiki. Follow us on socials. We'll be back next Thursday with some more live looks, updates. We're going to fly around on the simulator quite a bit. I'm looking forward to that.
Assuming there's no drama.
Assuming there's no drama. Hopefully, the only drama is making my microphone work, which, for
Yeah,
whatever reason's working now, but wasn't before. Um, so yeah, thanks for bearing with us. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Beau,
we
any
do.
parting thoughts?
Be kind to each other. Share us with your friends and your enemies. We don't care which.
No, that's fine.
um,
Maybe your enemies will
uh,
become your friends.
or maybe frenemies.
Maybe. Aw, it's that time of year. It's time for frenemies.
Yeah,
We're
you
getting
need
close
a
to
good
prom.
rival. You need a good rivalry going into the summers.
I agree. You got to get beach ready. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll see you back here in 1 week. Until then, um, keep those skies friendly. Be good to each other. Bye bye.
Bye.